Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So although we are reading from Chaitanya Charitamrita, but the verse is from Srimad Bhagavatam. So we can say Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, and we can also say Om Namo Bhagavate Gaurachandraya. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki. So today we are reading from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Leela, Volume 1, Chapter 1, chapter entitled The Spiritual Masters, text 60. Text 60. Satam prasangan mama virya samvido bhavanti hritkarna rasayana kathaah tajoshanadashvapavargavartmani Shraddharatirbhaktiranukramishyati Satam prasangan mama virya samvido Bhavanti hritkarna rasayana kathaah Tajoshanadashvapa apavargavartmani Shraddharatirbhaktiranukramishyati Satam prasangan mama virya samvido Bhavanti hritkarna rasayana kathaah Tajoshanadashvapavargavartmani Shraddharatirbhaktiranukramishyati. Devotees would like to recite. Sadam prasangan mama virya hritkarna rasayana kathaah Tajoshanadashvapavargavartmani Shraddharatirbhaktiranukramishyati Satam prasangan mama virya samvido Bhavanti hritkarna rasayana kathaah Tajoshanadashvapavargavartmani Shraddharatirbhaktiranukramishyati Satam prasangan mama virya samvido Bhavanti hritkarna rasayana kathaah Shraddharatirbhaktiranukramishyati. Matajis. Satam prasangan mama virya samvido Bhavanti hritkarna rasayana kathaah Tajoshanadashvapavargavartmani Shraddharatirbhaktiranukramishyati. Satam of the devotees prasangat, by intimate association, mama, of me, virya samvido, talks full of spiritual potency, bhavanti, appear, hrit, to the heart, karna, and to the ears, rasa ayana, a source of sweetness, katha, talks, tat, of them, joshanat, from proper cultivation, ashu, quickly, apavarga, of liberation, vartmani, on the path, shraddha, faith, ratihi, attraction, bhaktihi, love, anukramishati, will follow one after another. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki. The spiritually powerful message of Godhead can be properly discussed only in a society of devotees, and it is greatly pleasing to hear in that association. If one hears from devotees, the way of transcendental experience quickly opens, and gradually one attains firm faith that in due course develops into attraction and devotion. Responsibly, the spiritually powerful message of Godhead can be properly discussed only in a society of devotees, and it is greatly pleasing to hear in that association. If one hears from devotees, the way of transcendental experience quickly opens, and gradually one attains firm faith that in due course develops into attraction and devotion. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. This verse appears in Srimad Bhagavatam 3:25-25, where Kapila Dev replies to the questions of his mother Devahuti about the process of devotional service. As one advances in devotional activities, the process becomes progressively clearer and more encouraging. Unless one gets this spiritual encouragement by following the instructions of spiritual master, it is not possible to make advancement. Therefore, one's development of a taste for executing these instructions is the test of one's devotional service. Initially, one must develop confidence by hearing the science of devotion from a qualified spiritual master. Then, as he associates with the devotees and tries to adopt the means instructed by the spiritual master in his own life, his misgivings and other obstacles are vanquished by his execution of devotional service. Strong attachment for the transcendental service of the Lord develops as he continues listening to the messages of Godhead. And if he steadfastly proceeds in this way, he is certainly elevated to spontaneous love for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamaiham Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guruho Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्तिषे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्ते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। श्री चैतन्य दयार करह विचार विचार करित भावे चित्ते चमत्कार। मूकं करोति वाचालं भंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारणं भगवं श्रीचैतन्येश्वरम्। Hare Krishna. So first of all, I seek the blessings of all the Vaishnavas, especially senior Vaishnavas, for their mercy so that we can speak for the pleasure of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and our purification by discussing on this exalted subject of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Srila Prabhupada often said, is the PhD study, doctorate study of Gaudiya Vaishnavism. So what we will understand, we are small, insignificant, struggling with our anarthas. So His mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his dear devotees that we can discuss something from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita for his pleasure and our purification. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki, Sri Nityananda Prabhu ki. So, this is Adi Leela chapter 1, is text 60. So, in this chapter, if we see, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami from the beginning is offering obeisances to Sri Panchatattva, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, Advaita Prabhu, and all the devotees associated. And then in text 34, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami mentions the 6 features of the Absolute Truth. Vande Gurun Isha Bhaktan Isham Isha Avatarakan Tad prakasham tat shakti Sri Chaitanya Samgyakam. So the 6 features he is telling of the absolute truth. And then in the next few verses he tells that Vande Gurun. So in text 35 to 37 then he describes the Diksha Guru and the Shiksha Gurus. One Diksha Guru, Shiksha Guru Gana he describes. Then in text 38 he describes the Isha Bhaktan, Srivas Thakur and others. In text 39 he glorifies avatars, that is Advaitacharya. In text 40 he describes Prakasha, that is Lord Nityananda. And then text 41 he describes Shakti. Who is the Shakti Tattva in Panchatattva? Gadadhar Prabhu. So he describes Gadadhar Prabhu, Damodar and Jagadadananda Pandit, etc. And then text 42 Mahaprabhu describes Isha, the Supreme Lord, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself. And after that he starts to explain these 6 features. In text 44 till text 57, till text 58. So in 15 verses, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami describes, explains gurus, Diksha Guru, Shiksha Guru, in 15 verses. And then in the next 6 verses, text 59 to 64, he describes the second feature of the Absolute Truth, that is Isha Bhaktan. So in this 6 shlokas, in 2 sections he describes Isha Bhaktan. In the first 2 shlokas, Kaviraj Goswami glorifies the devotee's association. And the rest 4 shlokas, in the first 3 shlokas, that is text 61 to 63, he describes the tattva of devotees. And then in text 64, he tells 2 types of pure devotees. So this is currently we're in the section of explaining Isha Bhaktan. And in the first 2 verses, he is describing the glory of association of devotees. So in the verse which we discussed last time, Tato Dussangam Uttrijya, this is 11th canto verse. Satsu Sajjeta Buddhiman Sant Evasya Chindanti Mano Vyasanga Muktibhi. Due to association of the matter since time immemorial, our mind has many vasanas carrying on since millions and millions of lifetimes. Although we come to know what is the truth, what is untrue, what is Vastava Vastu, what is Avastava Vastu, after coming to association of devotees initially, but still that sword to cut the vasanas, will be imparted by the association of devotees only gradually. So this is the first thing. The first glory of association of devotees is cuts the material vasanas. This is the first glory, text 59, which we discussed last time. And today's text, that is text 60, in this, Kaviraj Goswami is describing how the association of devotees bestows bhakti. In 59, it is how material attachment is cut, and then how positive attachment to Krishna is bestowed upon the jiva is described by this verse, for which he has not actually written a verse. He has just copied a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, Kapil Dev section, where Kapil Muni is telling to Mother Devahuti. So, now one interesting thing to note here is that other places, sometimes in Chaitanya Charitamrita or in Bhagavatam, 11th canto or 10th canto later part, you will see that they just copy Srila Prabhupada's purport from elsewhere, if it is described, and then just paste it. But here, Srila Prabhupada has not copied his purport from Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, which he has already written. He has not copied that. So here, in the word meanings, there is interestingly one change, one major change. And can you show the word meanings, Prabhuji? Joshanath. The word meanings of, okay, yeah, Joshanath. Yeah. So here, Srila Prabhupada writes from proper cultivation. But in Srimad Bhagavatam, word meanings Prabhupada writes from cultivation, by cultivation. But here Prabhupada adds one word, proper. And this one word actually Srila Prabhupada describes in this purport. If we go to the Bhagavatam purport of this shloka, you will see Srila Prabhupada is first helping us understand that how a newcomer, when he associates with devotees, upcoming devotee, when he associates with devotees, first of all he understands, okay, Krishna, God is a person. He can also talk and walk and eat like you and me. And then he understands, okay, we can connect to God by devotional service. And that thing we will learn in the association of devotees. And in the last 3-4 words of the purport in Bhagavatam, Prabhupada writes, and gradually he will become perfect. So that thing, Srila Prabhupada explains here in this purport today. That what is that, proper? What is it? Gradually, how it will happen actually? What is the meaning of that gradually? What all stages a person will go through. So in this very important purport, Srila Prabhupada tells, very, very important for students of Krishna consciousness who actually have come to the point of understanding that this is the Vastava Vastu in life. I'm not talking, here Srila Prabhupada in this purport is not talking about those people who have yet not concluded with certainty in their consciousness that attaining God, pleasing God, is the only and the meaningful goal of life. In this purport, Srila Prabhupada is not talking about those people. In this purport, Srila Prabhupada is talking about those people who are the next level. Although they have still attraction for material activities and they are involved in their material life, either, proportionately or disproportionately, but they have completely understood that the goal of life and the meaningful goal of life and the only goal of life is to connect with God. And that is the only way I can get some happiness even in this world. And the future world or the future births will surely be auspicious. They have understood and they want to do it. How they will be able to do it, that is described in this purport by Srila Prabhupada. Very, very amazingly. Each statement is, progressive statement is very deep statement. So we'll go to the second statement. In first statement of the purport, maybe you can show that you have the document, Prabhuji, by chance? No. Oh, document is there. Can you show the document then? In the document, this purport I have put. So you show the purport from the document. Okay, go up. Up means upar. The piche. Yeah. So this is Srila Prabhupada telling this Bhagavatam reference. Go down. Hold it. Hold it. No. Just show one statement only. Don't show the next statement. Just this much. So here Srila Prabhupada is writing what? One very important word, as you can see on the screen, progressively. What will happen? Two things will happen. The path will become clear and you will feel the actual encouragement. And it will not happen, the whole path will not be clear now, today, sitting here. No. It will become progressively clear. Just like in old Hindi movies, some of you, unfortunately, including myself, if we have seen those Hindi movies, so we have seen that, the hero wants to get that treasure and he gets one map, and understands the whole map, and then at the end there is no treasure. At the end it is mentioned that there you will get one more map. How many of you have seen such kind of things? Okay, some of you, right? You have seen. So then he follows that map and goes to the terrain, and then and after a lot of struggle and thrill, and he reaches that spot, and then by his great strength he pushes aside the stone, and then he gets there, sure enough, one map, and then he opens it up. Ah, this is the map for the next destination, right? So it's like that. Whatever is clear today on this path of devotional service, follow that sincerely, very sincerely. Then Krishna will reveal. So this is the meaning of the word progressively. And the second important thing Prabhupada is mentioning here is encouraging. You will feel encouraged. Now, the qualifier for this word, Prabhupada speaks the next statement for that. Now, wait. Now, many things can encourage us in bhakti. When you come to, ISKCON, in any program, even ISKCON programs outside, we feel encouraged by many things. Can any of you please share, what things encourage us when we start to connect with the devotees regularly? Prasadam, Kirtan, nice dealings, lectures, philosophy, enthusiasm of devotees, deities, books. Thank you, Sri Mohan Prabhu. Huh? Music. The tune of the Kirtan was so nice, Prabhuji. We don't know what Arti you were singing, but it was very nice. Right? Even we may feel encouraged to see clean temples. Right? Revolutionary clean temples of Srila Prabhupada. Or, Prabhuji? Yatras. Cooperation of devotees. Compassion of devotees, yeah. Highly educated devotees and still practicing such a simple life based on principles of Bhagavad Gita. Very nice. So we may feel encouraged by n number of things. And all these things may help us stick on. But what will help us advance? So Srila Prabhupada wants to guide us correctly, scientifically. Although you may feel encouraged by many things, but something is there which will help you advance. That is the next statement. Hold. Then Srila Prabhupada is telling, unless one gets this spiritual encouragement by following the instructions of spiritual master, it is not possible to make advancement. So this encouragement you may get from many things, many pure spiritual things, no problem. But if you want to make actual advancement, then the encouragement has to be based on following the not only listening, understanding, but then the third thing is following the instructions of spiritual master. If somebody has come to that platform of following the instructions of spiritual master and starting to feel encouraged by that, this is a safe devotee. He is a very safe devotee. He will feel that. He will feel that sense of safety. He will feel that sense of security. Otherwise, in my life, many times I feel, will I really be able to move ahead in spiritual life? Or may I commit, or I may end up committing offenses, or I may quit spiritual life, or should I take initiation? Will I be able to follow? Should I join full time? Will I be able to follow? Should I, become a more dedicated grihastha? Will I be able to, commit to this path? It's always this, yes, anxiety is there. But this devotee, he will start to feel, though one who has started to feel encouraged by following the instructions of spiritual master, he is very, very safe devotee. Because right thread of encouragement he has captured now. Right? Then, Srila Prabhupada tells a very important, the most important statement of this verse and this purport, that how to judge an advanced devotee, or how to judge, let alone others, they are all glorious Vaishnavas, in my life, how to judge, and I am really developing, I'm progressing, I'm in devotional service, I'm progressing, how to judge myself. So that is the next statement Srila Prabhupada tells, how you can judge yourself. Next statement. Hold it. So this is what. Therefore, one's development of a taste for executing the instructions of spiritual master is the test of one's bhakti. Externally, it takes only 20 rupees to color the clothes, or 20-30 rupees only. Doesn't take much. Right? But factually, if I have to say, I have to see that if I am advancing or not. And this is a simple test. Am I developing the taste, the liking, the attraction, at least the willingness to know, what my spiritual master wants from me? And then to understand that instruction thoroughly, right? And then starting to apply it. So developing the taste for the instructions of the spiritual master, this is the test. Now Srila Prabhupada starts the process from beginning, how it will happen. In 4 or 5 steps, Srila Prabhupada tells in the rest of the purport that how from the beginning, initially, how it will start and how it will progress. So let us see that next section. So, Prabhupada tells, initially one must develop confidence by hearing the science of devotion from a qualified guru. So, from the life of Srila Prabhupada only, a little later I will show you practically how we can see from Srila Prabhupada's life, from Srila Prabhupada Lilamrita, this thing. So, Prabhupada is telling, initially, develop confidence by hearing the science of devotional from a qualified guru. Then what will happen? This is the first stage. Start hearing. Then what will happen? Then, as he first associates with devotees and tries to adopt the means instructed by Guru in his own life, his misgivings and other obstacles are vanquished by his execution of bhakti. Next, strong attachment for bhakti, transcendental service of the Lord, develops as he continues listening to the messages of Godhead. And if he steadfastly proceeds in this simple way, he is certain to be successful. Such a wonderful purport of Srila Prabhupada. In one purport, Srila Prabhupada is telling that how you can go forward from the very initial stage. Now, many things may be there which may encourage me. They are not sinful. Not necessarily we have to give them up suddenly. A particular seva interests me a lot. Either worshipping deities or cooking or distributing books or, Harinam Sankirtan or cleaning, or managing any service. Any association may be encouraging me. So after reading this purport, the end result should not be that, okay, I don't know if it is authorized by my spiritual master, so let me give it up. No, that is not to be done. That is very good, that is helpful. But then for serious students, if we wish to strongly and confidently and positively move forward, then while maintaining that current association of devotees, seva, then we can do this, as Srila Prabhupada is telling in this purport, and increase our hearing from the spiritual master, our initiating spiritual master, and our preeminent instructing spiritual master, that is Srila Prabhupada. So hearing from these two devotees can be increased, and gradually everything will happen. The first step, if we do right, progressive things will become automatically clear. The first step, what Srila Prabhupada was telling, the first step is Initially, one must develop confidence by hearing the science of devotion from a qualified guru. So this is the first step. And if you see, okay, so we have to continue hearing. Yeah, in this purport only, the third last line, if you see, strong attachment for transcendental service of the Lord develops as he continues listening to the messages. So throughout the journey, we have to continue listening the message of Godhead from these two personalities, our initiating spiritual master and our foremost instructing spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada. This has to continue. Not that after a few years, when I have come to some, some relief, some kleshagni has happened. The first characteristic of pure devotional service, kleshagni. Some relief is felt in life from the burning, pangs of this material world. So after that relief, some relief has come. We are not mokshakamis. Every day, morning and evening now in this prayer, 3 or 4 shlokas, moksha is ridiculed, or like ignored or rejected in this Damodarashtakam prayers. So we are not mokshagamis looking for relief. So after getting some sense of relief, after a few years of practicing with the devotees, we don't have to do the biggest mistake of disassociating or ignoring Srila Prabhupada's books and Srila Prabhupada's lectures and our initiating spiritual master's lectures, his Vani association. This should not be done. This can become one of the biggest mistake when the weeds start developing powerfully. And then we think, often this question comes to our heart. In the initial days, I was so enthusiastic. What happened now? Where I lost my enthusiasm and taste for bhakti and for the... Now I feel all these people are like this only. I know them. Then nothing new. I know devotees. I know ISKCON. I know all. I know how they talk nicely. And then later, I know. So that zone we don't have to enter. And that is what Srila Prabhupada in this purport again, the first step, that is listening from Guru, that again he's reiterating in the last part of the purport again. Continues to listen from the qualified spiritual master. Then everything else, the remaining steps will be taken care. Now, going forward, we will see in Srila Prabhupada Lilamrita, volume 1, chapter 4. So this is diacritic marks have not come. But I hope you can read it still. Right? I will read from here. You can please read here on the board. So then, grasping is better. Srila Prabhupada is telling about himself. So I met them in Kosi. This is also Kartik month of 1932, I believe. So 90 years ago, this happened. in Kartik only. So I met them in Kosi. And Keshav Kosi is the place where Nanda Maharaj's treasury was, there. Maybe Kosh and Koshi, maybe. So I met them at Koshi. And Keshav Maharaj was informing that Srila Bhaktisiddhanta is going to Mathura tomorrow morning. And he will speak Harikatha this evening. Anyone who wants to may remain. Or otherwise they may go to Sheshashai Vishnu. So at that time, I think only 10 or 12 men remained. Sridhar Maharaj was one of them. And I thought it wise. What can I see at this Sheshashai? Let me hear what Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati will speak. Let me hear. So we can see what Srila Prabhupada is telling in the purport, he has done in his own life. Right? Now let us see forward. An hour went by. 2 hours went by. The already small gathering of 10-12 people in Srila Bhaktisiddhanta's room gradually thinned. A few sannyasis left, excusing themselves to tend to duties connected with the parikrama camp. Only a few intimate leaders remained. And Srila Prabhupada actually was the only, so to say, outsider or like Grihastha visiting the Parikrama. All others were the leaders of 4 or 5 devotees were the leaders of Srila Saraswati Thakur. Going forward, yeah, he was listening with wonder. Sometimes he would not even understand something, but he would go on listening intently, submissively, his intelligence drinking in the words. He felt Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati revealing to him the direct vision of the spiritual world. So you can see how direct vision of spiritual world Srila Prabhupada is feeling. What he had done, he has done nothing, just continued hearing attentively and submissively, even though sometimes not fully understanding. Going forward, just as a person reveals something by opening a door or pushing aside a curtain, he was revealing the reality, and this reality was loving service to the lotus feet of Radha Krishna, the supremely worshipable personality of Godhead. How masterfully he spoke, and with utter conviction and boldness. So this is very important part, that we keep hearing and develop the confidence which Srila Prabhupada is telling in the purport today. Develop the confidence by hearing. See here Srila Prabhupada's confidence developing. He is seeing the conviction, the boldness and the expertise of Srila Saraswati Thakur's speech. And then what will happen? A devotee who is appreciating his spiritual master's speech like this, what will happen to him? He will become attached to the spiritual master's instructions. Now automatically he will follow instructions of the spiritual master. Then everything will happen. Yesterday His Holiness Bhakti Prem Maharaj, while giving his very nice lecture, Maharaj was telling, in the end, we don't have to change the Guru. We have to keep reading Srila Prabhupada's books only. Everything is there. What will change is ourselves. Don't haphazardly or hurriedly change the Guru or Srila Prabhupada's books and switch over to other, so-called more detailed or more great books. No. So here we can see in Srila Prabhupada's life only, so wonderfully. He has developed this confidence. What Srila Prabhupada is telling in today's purport. Develop the confidence by hearing from a spiritual master. So that is what Srila Prabhupada is, in his manifest pastimes as a sadhaka, is presenting. That this is happening with him, his own self. Going forward, it was with such awe that Abhay listened with fastened attention. Of course, all Vaishnavas accepted Krishna as their worshipable Lord. But how conclusively and with what sound logic was the faith of Vaishnavas established by this great teacher? After several hours, कई घंटे lecture continuously चला, evening में. After several hours, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati stopped speaking. Abhay felt prepared to go on listening without cessation, and yet he had no puzzling doubts or queries to place forward. He wanted only to hear more. As Srila Bhaktisiddhanta made his exit, Abhay bowed, offering his obeisances, and then left the intimate circle of sannyasis in their row of tents and went to the outer circle of tents, his mind surcharged with the words of the Guru. Going forward, very interesting now. Somehow, in this simple couplet, Abhay had captured the essence. This is about the poem Srila Prabhupada had written. Absolute is sentient, thou hast proved. Impersonal calamity, thou hast removed. Somehow, in this simple couplet, which I just quoted to you, Abhay had captured the essence of his Guru's preaching against the Mayavadis. And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati took it as an indication of how well Abhay knew the mind of his Gurudeva. Abhay was delighted when he heard that the couplet was pleasing to spiritual master. So this is very important line, because previous to this, there is ample description of how many other god brothers of Saraswati Thakur, when they heard this line, they were very happy, they were appreciating Srila Prabhupada. But Srila Prabhupada was not satisfied with that only, until this happened. When he came to know from his god brothers that the couplet was pleasing to my Guru Maharaj, then what happened? Srila Prabhupada felt delighted, not only pleased, delighted. So a true servant's success, delight, is in nothing short of the pleasure of his spiritual master. Nothing else, and nothing else. No appreciation. What to talk of worldly appreciation? Even within Vaishnava society, no amount of appreciation, post, privileges, facilities, followership, nothing else can delight a true servant than this, the pleasure of his spiritual master. And then we will cut it short. Go forward, Prabhuji. Go forward. Wait. Yeah. So this is the famous instruction. This came from Srila Saraswati Thakur to Srila Prabhupada when he heard this couplet. Whatever he writes, publish it. Srila Prabhupada ki, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur ki. And then Srila Prabhupada going in his life, the long journey from 1930s till 1950s when Srila Prabhupada came to Srila Chakravarti Thakur's commentary on 2.41 Bhagavad Gita. So what happened to Srila Prabhupada when he read that? He felt encouraged and his desire strengthened. What? We will read in this. Read on. While reading Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur's commentary on Gita, 2nd chapter 41, he read that the disciple should consider the order of the Guru to be his life and soul. These words produced a deep effect on Abhay, strengthening his desire to execute Guru Maharaj's command, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati's command. So this is what we discussed in today's purport. And the encouragement will come by advancement. Advancement will happen by the encouragement received from following the instructions of spiritual master. So we can see Srila Prabhupada is with strengthened desire to follow the instruction of spiritual master. So this encouragement, based on this encouragement, Srila Prabhupada could face all other discouragements, all other letdown, all other, so to say, failures, which Srila Prabhupada faced in India while going to America and then in America. Because his encouragement was not based on anything else other than the desire of his spiritual master, the instructions of his spiritual master. The basis of the encouragement was so correct. And this encouragement, we can see Srila Prabhupada continuing after for decades and decades. After failing in India, where bhakti could be implanted most easily, Srila Prabhupada has the courage to go to America, where it is almost sure that bhakti cannot be implanted. This is the transcendental, confidence, understanding of Srila Prabhupada and his encouragement that he is going to America to implant bhakti now. So when we start receiving the encouragement from following the instructions of spiritual master, this devotee is so safe. We can see from the manifest pastimes of Srila Prabhupada, who is the author of this purport. And we can see the similar thing happening with the author of this book, Srila Kaviraj Goswami. We will see going ahead, Prabhuji. Go ahead. Hold. Yeah. So I will sing the shlokas and then read the translations only. You will see how he received the order of his Guru and started following it. And then despite all inabilities, all difficulties, he kept getting encouragement from following the order of Guru and went on performing his service successfully. Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela 5.195. Anande vivala ami kichu nahi jani, tabe hasi prabhu more kahile na vani. Somebody would like to read on the microphone? If it is quickly switch on. Yeah, Prabhu, please read the translations.
I was overwhelmed with transcendental ecstasy, not knowing anything else. Then Lord Nityananda smiled and spoke to me as follows.
So this is the vision of Kaviraj Goswami. One day in the night, when he had chastised his brother, real brother, upon taking a deviant stand against mean Ketan Ramadas. So he had chastised that you are doing wrong thing. On that day evening, he got this vision in which Nityananda Prabhu appeared to him. And then what happened? Are Krishna das nakaraha bhai vrindavane yahataha sarvalabhya hai.
Oh my dear Krishnadas, do not be afraid. Go to Vrindavana, for there you will attain all things.
Etabali prerila more hatasani diya અંતર્ધાન કૈલ પ્રભુ નિજ ગણ લૈયા.
After saying this, he directed me toward Vrindavan by waving his hand. Then he disappeared with his associates.
મૂર્છિત હૈયા મુઈ પડીનું ભૂમિ તે સ્વપ્નભંગ હૈલા દેખી હૈયા છે પ્રભાતે.
I fainted and fell to the ground. My dream broke, and when I regained consciousness, I saw that morning had come.
કી દેખીનું કી શુનીનું કરીએ વિચાર પ્રભુ આજ્ઞા હૈલા વૃંદાવન યાઈ બાર.
I thought about what I had seen and heard and concluded that the Lord had ordered me to proceed to Vrindavan at once.
So the right conclusion, Lord, this is the instruction of my spiritual master. Now what he did, he followed that instruction, right? સેઈ ક્ષણે વૃંદાવને કરીનું ગમન પ્રભુ કૃપાતે સુખે આઈનું વૃંદાવન.
That very second I started for Vrindavana, and by his mercy I reached there in great happiness.
So that very second I started to follow the instruction of spiritual master. And this encouragement, what Kaviraj Goswami is receiving from following the instructions of spiritual master, you will see helps him overcome wonderfully or miraculously all other obstacles. Go back, Prabhuji, that one shloka which we skipped, that you please show now. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 2.90, he describes himself that although so much invalid and unable, still I don't know, why with so much encouragement I am going on. आमि वृद्ध जरातुर लिखिते कांपय कर मने किछु स्मरण ना हय ना देखिए नयने ना सुनिए श्रवणे तभु लिखी ए बड़ विस्मय.
I have now become too old and disturbed by invalidity. While I write, my hands tremble. I cannot remember anything, nor can I see or hear properly. Still I write, and this is a great wonder.
So we can see so wonderfully, so many difficulties. Too old, disturbed by invalidity, and hands are trembling, unable to remember anything, nor am I able to see, nor am I able to hear properly. None of the 6 things are working properly. Still I am writing. And this is a great wonder for me. A bada vismaya. Even for me. Why? Because his encouragement is based on nothing else than following the instructions of spiritual master. So we can see the example of Srila Kaviraj Goswami, the author of this book, and Srila Prabhupada's life, the author of this purport. Not only they are describing this, but from their own life they are manifesting at how this is a science of devotional service. If we simply follow the simple steps, sure shot, that is the last word in the purport Srila Prabhupada is writing. He is certainly elevated to spontaneous love. Srila Prabhupada is writing, certainly, no doubt. No, very hopeful. He should. No, he is certainly sure to be elevated to spontaneous love of Godhead. So we conclude here, we discussed in the first section the context of this shloka, that is Kaviraj Goswami telling Isha Bhaktan, the second feature of the 6 features of the Absolute Truth, he is describing there. And in these 2 verses, the previous verse he is describing how the material attachments are cut, and in this verse he is describing the glory of association of devotees. This is the first thing we discussed, the context of the shloka. The second thing we discussed is the purport. We saw the purport, how Srila Prabhupada very scientifically, step by step, is telling us the caution, don't take any and every encouragement as bhakti advancement. Be very careful to identify this very encouragement of following Guru as the actual means of advancement, substantial means of steady bhakti. And then in the third part of our discussion, we discussed the practical life of Srila Prabhupada Ji and Srila Kaviraj Goswami, the 2 authors of today's discussion. Thank you very much. I beg forgiveness for any mistakes and I seek correction or any suggestions from devotees. Hare Krishna. Yes, just Gopeshwar Prabhu is serving for a few decades himself. I remember once 1991 Prabhuji was going with the rickshaw driving, going to purchase flowers. Prabhuji was telling, and Siddhartha Prabhu was sitting at the back in the rickshaw. and some accident happened, and it's such a severe accident that the rickshaw whole turned on 180 degrees on this side. You remember what you told? And then Sridhar Maharaj, our Siddhartha Prabhu he just got up and he asked, Hare, we have to go here. Why your rickshaw is in the opposite direction? What happened to you? Because Prabhuji was in so much sleep. He didn't know that accident happened and the rickshaw has gone. So Prabhuji is serving since 30 years or plus. Shri Radharaj wears lotus feet. Let us hear from Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
All blessings. I have a point. You said that Prabhupada was keen on hearing his spiritual master and following him. Very good. Those times there was only one spiritual master. But now in ISKCON, there are so many spiritual masters.
Yeah.
And how to put that point here? Can you please clarify?
Yeah. I wanted to discuss about it because that was the more practical part. But then I thought that if I touch that subject, that is a whole topic in itself. And then I'll not do justice to today's purport. But since you have brought up this question, very important question, very pertinent question to our current ISKCON situation. How many of you understood Prabhuji's question? Raise hands. Okay, almost all of you. So, in today's scenario, we should not be immature to think that only my Diksha Guru Ji ko main sununga. Nobody else. No. Then we may not be mature enough. So that is why in 15 shlokas, Kaviraj Goswami describes what is Gurus. Mantra Guru, that is Diksha Guru, and then Shiksha Guru Gana. So he describes very elaborately in 15 shlokas, just this one feature, the most elaborate description maybe of this one feature of, and the 6 features of absolute truth is Gurus. So in a devotee's life, different Gurus at different times may play pivotal role, or not pivotal, very vital role to help him advance in bhakti. So initially somebody is attending a weekly program conducted outside by our Akhanda Leeladhar Prabhu. So, for them, following his suggestions for their bhakti may be actually very much helpful. But gradually, when they take initiation from some spiritual master, bona fide spiritual master within ISKCON, then following that spiritual master instruction is the most important thing. Then gradually it may happen the spiritual master is traveling a lot. Then a disciple is not able to access him very frequently. Or the spiritual master has closed his manifest pastimes. He has disappeared. In both these situations, now many times practical life situations come where he wants to know from spiritual master what to do. So then the devotee should have somebody approved by his spiritual master, either the temple president or his weekly program Bhakti Vriksha leader or mentor, or some other senior Vaishnava in the community, whom he is able to connect to more easily, more frequently, and take guidance in these situations what to do. And then following that personality becomes equally important or sufficient to progress. And in somebody's life, spiritual master may be very easily available, readily available for progressive discussion and development. So that is also right. Somebody like this is there, that is also right. And somebody has not discussed from his spiritual master that who is the approved mentor for me in this community of devotees. And his spiritual master has disappeared now. So then fine, he can follow the temple president. That is the default system Srila Prabhupada has established. Just follow the temple president. Or any other senior Vaishnava who may be his god brother or may not be his god brother, but who is generally accepted as a confidant of his spiritual master by the body of Vaishnavas or his senior god brothers. And he is feeling connectable to that personality, and he is also available, and he also feels connectable. And he can see that, oh, this is helping me. Not only is authentic, but he's helping me also. I am able to receive help also. Then he can connect with that devotee. So this is my small understanding.
But in ISKCON, we have so many departments: Sankirtan, life membership, pujaris, then IPP, so many things. A devotee may be doing seva there. He changes the department. Then again instructions change.
Yeah, that may be service instructions. Seva instructions may change. But the principles, that are given by spiritual master or his representative in the temple president or somebody. So that will not change, or that devotee is still available. Okay, in this circumstance, how to adjust these principles? Principles are not to be adjusted, but how to follow the details so that I progress. Actually, that is another subject which I wanted to discuss. What? When I discussed whole from the side of a sadhaka, when I am seeing my own progress. But the another side which I want to discuss also, but time is not there, is that when there is somebody who is assisting me in my services or helping me in my services, and when I deal with him, then it becomes my responsibility to ensure that I be not satisfied just because or just by that he is doing मेरा सेवा, मेरा काम हो जा रहा है, मेरी सेवाएं होती चली जा रही हैं. Then the leader's responsibility is not to be satisfied with that much. No. Then he is not being a leader. Then he is more of a manager, I can say. The leader means he will take the responsibility that what his spiritual master wants from him. He will approach his spiritual master and understand clearly what spiritual master ji you want for him. And ensure that as he doing helping to me in my department or my seva or whatever area, I ensure that he is in line with the spiritual master's desire for him. If I don't take that responsibility and I am just using his services, then what happens is, after a few years, the devotee is not feeling satisfied internally, spiritual satisfaction, which will bring that stability amidst all types of difficulties. That stability will not be there. And then what I will say, in one moment, it takes a moment for me to say, पहले अच्छा भक्त था, अभी independent हो गया, अभी ये खराब हो गया. It takes one moment. But that will not please Krishna, and that will not please Srila Prabhupada, that will not progress me also either. Because I have taken his services, but I have not taken responsibility to ensure that I am not just using him, but helping him also reciprocatively in his bhakti progress by following the instructions of spiritual master. Otherwise, choti difficulties only, the people may be ready to quit. Small difficulties, they may be ready to quit the service and slow down their niyam following, then malas, then association of devotees, and then what not. Then they may even go to many more extremes.
Thank you very much. And one point, when I was met with an accident on the rickshaw, Siddhartha was not there, Nandu Prabhu was there.
Nandu
Prabhu. He used to go every day to bring flowers. That happened.
Nandu Prabhu. Thank you for the correction.
Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much. The time is up, maybe. Time is up now, 9:15 already. We will take personally more questions or... No, time is up. 9:10 already. We have still time by 5 minutes. We will take later. Srila Prabhupada ki, Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur ki, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Prabhupada ki, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bo. Thank you very much. Hare.